Now to the residents whose dreams are slowly slipping away along with their homes. They bought the properties for their sweeping views, but now find they should never have been built in the first place. Trying to find answers is another slippery slope.
And the house started to move, nails were popping, timbers were tearing.
The front of the house is all dropped by 2 meters. You see, all those plants are supposed to be on top.
We wish we had the funds to go and buy another home or build another home, but we don't.
Residents here thought they were buying a slice of paradise when they found these properties on the Shelf Road on Mount Tamborine. Instead, what they got is a constant feeling of anxiety every time storm clouds gather, as they have over the last few days. Their fear is that this road could live up to its name.
Look, this is part of the foundation.
Hinterland homeowner Kim may live in a rainforest, but to her, there's no sound more terrifying than a downpour.
When the rain starts, you start running. I mean, yeah, it's a joke.
Kim built her home on Mount Tamborine more than 20 years ago, and back then her yard was level with her home. So this here was once ground level?
Yes, ground level up to here.
But Kim's home is now sliding down the mountain she lives on. There is only this little bit of land holding your home up. How do you feel?
Oh, very, very frightened. We got quite traumatized when we see that how we are living. Where is the peace of mind?
Her ordeal started in February last year when torrential rain lashed Queensland's scenic rim, causing the ground beneath her home to shift. Slowly but steadily, it's worsening, and now she's afraid every weather event could spell disaster. Do you fear for your life?
Of course, very fearful. We want to get out, you know? We have to get out because we can't live in fear all the time.
I'd like to show you the rear deck, how it's fallen away.
Leon and Olga's home has also been impacted.
It's terrifying, heavy rain, about 800 mils for the night, and the house started to move. Nails were popping, timbers were tearing, and we thought that we were going to fall down on top of our heads.
The concrete slab beneath their home sinking and causing it to tip forward.
Yes, Bridget, this is the worst of the damage to the house. The rear deck was pulled away from the wall as the soil underneath the slab pulled outwards and slid along that way, and at the same time it dropped down there.
A golf ball showing the extent of the land movement.
There's a 20 centimetre drop from the back section to the front section. It gets steeper down that bottom section of the house. So it clearly demonstrates how the house is tilted and falling down.
Their home is now held up with steel props, but it's no solution. But even they're moving.
They are moving a little bit too, which just shows that the land is still moving.
Residents have obtained a copy of a 1982 report commissioned by the state government, which they claim shows the land their homes now sit on was not suitable for development. But in 2000, that decision was overturned by the then Beaudesert Shire Council, which approved subdivision to go ahead.
And no one told us it had been subject to landslides. No one said there had been a report done, which council had accepted not to develop the land for housing at all. But they went ahead and did it anyway.
So we are like living day to day in limbo, hoping that the council would act, would do something.
We're all stuck with no money, nowhere to go.
And we have to sell this house, which is unsellable.
Roger's home is virtually split in two. With his back deck detached from his house, he believes without a council buyback scheme, residents will be left with nothing through no fault of their own. Should your home ever have been allowed to be built here?
No, I don't think so. None of these houses along the shelf should have been allowed.
This envelope was given to us to build, and we built on it. And it was checked 3 or 4 times that it is safe to build because the geologists and all people like that, they have checked it and ticked it okay.
Scenic Rim Council says it's now investigating the nature of the failure and risk to residents, stopping short of taking responsibility for the disaster and advising it will not be undertaking buybacks.
And so what kind of position does that leave you guys in for the future?
Well, we'd probably have to give up and move out, basically, and leave the place to itself.
It'll have to be demolished at some stage. And that's hard to accept.
Gosh, how scary would that be? There are 13 homes in that subdivision, and that means 13 very nervous homeowners. And if you're wondering about insurance, they do have policies, but their claims have been rejected because they don't cover landslips.